point where all technical conversations and knowledge sharing can be about building new things. We have too many old things. People from my father's generation wrote a lot of programs, and every year they are shocked by how much of their work survives, still running in a production system somewhere. My generation has programmed exponentially more, infecting every aspect of life with a computer chip and some runtime instructions. We will be similarly shocked when those systems are still in place 30, 40, or 50 years from now. Because we don't talk about modernizing old tech, organizations fall into the same traps over and over again. Failure is predictable because so many software engineers think the conversations about modernizing legacy technology are not relevant to their careers. Some of them are honestly surprised to find out that COBOL still runs much of the financial sector, that the majority of the web is still written in PHP, or that people are still looking to hire software engineers with ActionScript, Flash, and Visual Basic skills. Failure can be so predictable that after a year or two of doing this work, I found that with a little basic information about the technology deployed, I could predict a series of problems the organization was facing and how its solutions had failed. Occasionally, I would perform this parlor trick for the amusement of other engineers and the advancement of my career, including once during a job interview at the New York Times. When I left government to go back to the private sector, I discovered that the same techniques that had worked for old systems also worked really well with relatively new systems. I moved to a 6-year-old company and did legacy modernization work. Then I moved to a 6-month-old company and still did legacy modernization work. At one point, exasperated, I complained to my boss, "Why am I running a legacy modernization on a 3-month-old system?" To which he retorted, "Serves you right for not showing up 3 months ago." That being said, there is little downside to maintaining all systems as if they are legacy systems. It is easy to build things, but it is difficult to rethink them once they are in place. Legacy modernizations are hard not because they are technically hard. The problems and the solutions are usually well understood. It's the people side of the modernization effort that is hard. Getting the time and resources to actually implement the change, building an appetite for change to happen and keeping that momentum, managing the intra-organizational communication necessary to move a system that any number of other systems connect to or rely upon, those things are hard. And yet, as an industry, we do not talk about these challenges. We assume the sun, moon, stars, and the board of directors will all magically reconfigure themselves around the right technical answer, simply because it's the right technical answer. We are horrified to discover that most people do not actually care how healthy a piece of technology is, as long as it performs the function they need it to, with a reasonable degree of accuracy in a time frame that doesn't exhaust their patience. In technology, good enough reigns supreme. In trying to explain how to approach a legacy modernization, I first go back and explore how technology changes over time. Chapters 1 and 2 both explore the mechanics of computing trends and best practices. How did we settle on the technology that is legacy today? And what can we learn from that process to guide our modernization plans? In Chapter 3, I discuss the 3 broad problems that make organizations feel like they need to modernize: technical debt, performance issues, and system stability. I give an example of each type of problem on a real, though anonymous, system, and how the plan to modernize it might come together. Chapter 4 discusses why legacy modernization is so hard and fails so often. I address the great myth of cross-platform compatibility and the role of abstraction in manipulating what we see as easy or hard. Chapter 5 talks about the most critical feature of any legacy modernization: momentum. How do you get it? And how do you keep it? I outline a whole series of conditions. Some of them momentum killers. Some of them momentum growers. Chapter 6 deals with coming into a modernization project that has already started, and how to fix the most common